What's up, y'all? We are just getting started. Wait a little bit to make sure everything's good to go. Happy Monday. All right, looks like we're good. Welcome. This is episode 5 of Mogul Moves Weekly, covering everything from box office buzz to industry power plays and all things Mogul by Movie Pass. I'm Luigi, I'm your host, and I'm joined, of course, with the iconic Josh Nielsen. Say hi, Josh.
Hello, guys. Hope you had a good weekend.
All right, let's get into it. Some interesting moves happening this weekend. Josh, do you want to talk to us about this weekend's performance?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the big story is something that you and I were kind of teeing up Monday and Thursday of last week, which is that Now You See Me was the top performer for the weekend, passing up Running Man. I think a week ago, maybe there were some forecasts that might have hinted at that, but 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I don't think anyone would have picked Now You See Me being the winner out of those two. So Now You See Me ended up doing 21.3 for the weekend, and Running Man did 17. So a bit of an upset. The smaller budget movies here. We talked about Keeper last week. It was pretty on track, 2.5 million. And then Muzzle was a pretty limited release. It's an IFC film, but it did 90K. So I think if you were listening to the conversations last week and kind of seeing how the forecasts were trending, then Now You See Me was really like the big winner this weekend, at box office and in the game, and kind of the one that I think overperformed the most compared to expectations.
Yup. Yeah, and if you guys are in the chat, feel free to leave in. Did you see this coming? Did you not? Were you informed by our commentary last week, or did you ignore us? All right, so we got a holdover from last week. Josh talked to us about the holdover.
Yeah, Predator also holding over pretty nicely. It did 13 million this week, which is down 67%, which is pretty strong, I think, for a early November release, especially going against two pretty decent releases in Now You See Me and The Running Man. Um, so I think Predator was probably a decent hold going into this weekend as well. You probably earned some points off that if you were still holding that. Um, yeah, seems like a fun carryover movie.
For sure, for sure. We of course, like we just mentioned, this week's mover was Now You See Me, Now You Don't. So that brings us into our next segment, pick, hold, drop. Josh, what are your picks? What's your hold? What's your drop for this weekend?
I think it's a bit of a no-brainer week. Um,
Hmm.
if you're not picking Wicked, you're probably a little silly. Even as high as the expectations are, I think it's still probably going to smash them a little bit. Um, I would be picking Wicked and as many cast members as I could in my roster. So that's my pick for the week. Nothing too cute there. Um, I'm selling Running Man. I think um, for sell and hold between those two, I think Running Man's probably gonna fall off the hardest. And Now You See Me as my hold. I think it'll probably hang around a little bit better. But I think, truthfully, I think you could probably put both of them in sell this week. And if
Hmm.
it were me, I'd be moving, all my assets into Wicked, um, and call it
Yeah.
call it a day.
Yeah, I would do the same. The one call out that I would have is this movie, Rental Family, which is Brendan
Yeah,
Fraser's sort of first return back to the big screen post The Whale. Like
yeah.
that potentially has like a big Oscars sort of moment. I don't really know. I mean, I haven't really heard anything out of the festivals, but I do feel like people are waiting for him to kind of like have another moment. So this could be good. And it looks like a really interesting concept. So
Yeah, I think high potential for upside on that pick for sure. It's looking at forecasts, it's trending up a little bit. 2.5 was the earliest number I saw, up to 3 this morning. So even with Wicked coming, it does Kind of feel like that could be trending up. So that might be like you know, the small budget play for the weekend along with Wicked.
Yeah, 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 totally. All right, cool. Yeah, I cannot wait to see Wicked. I'm so excited.
Yep.
There's actually not a movie I'm more excited to see. Maybe Avatar, but
Yeah.
all right,
Going with
let's
the
go into
family this
the
weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go into our next section, which is just what's trending right now in the movie world. We saw a couple hours ago the first stills drop for the Moana live action film. Now, here's the question. What constitutes live action? Because I'm looking at the chicken and I'm going, that's not an actual chicken. That's still a
Right.
CGI chicken.
I mean, looking at these stills, like from afar, they almost all look like CGI anyways.
Right, right.
So I guess as long as
Exactly.
there's a few humans in it, that's what constitutes live action.
Okay. Well, I need like the official statement from Disney to tell me like what is a live action movie? What is a live action remake? You know?
Were these official stills released today?
Yeah,
Uh,
they're official.
is the release date set, or is it just 2026 sometime?
I have no idea. Let's see. Moana live action. July 10th. So summer of next year. We got a
That would
while.
make that would make sense.
Moving on, another sort of moment, first look moment. We got the first look to the Zelda movie. People are really excited about this. This is obviously Zelda, huge cult following in terms of the Nintendo game. So excited to see kind of unrecognizable actors basically in these first looks. I don't know who these people are. They look quite young. That's what I would say
Yeah,
about
I
them.
don't know either of them. I mean, Zelda's got to be. I don't think Nintendo really green lights their IP too often.
Mm-mm.
Um, Mario's kind of the only one, and even that they've been pretty tight on. You know, there's the iconic uh, good bad 90s Mario movie. And then obviously we were talking last week about the new animated movies, which have done well, which I'm guessing have kind of spurred them towards this.
Yeah,
But in my mind, Zelda is like the biggest IP outside of Mario for Nintendo.
100%.
And I think
Yeah,
it lends itself the best to something like this, something live action, something on screen, something on the big screen. So there's going to be a
totally.
lot of people looking forward to it.
Definitely. And I just looked, Zelda is 20. So the first Zelda was released in 1986. They never made a movie for it.
Yeah, crazy.
That's insane. Because even like the old Mario movies, like, do you remember those like old kind of weird Mario movies where it's like,
I love the old Mario movie.
same. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same, same, same. Where it's like the weird guys with like the little heads and like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved those. Like, I can't even believe that. So they haven't even made anything like that for Zelda. Interesting. So this is going to be huge, guys. I think like this is really going to take off. People are going to be obsessed with that.
Totally.
Another thing that we saw, I feel like online a lot trending right now was Tom Cruise making a speech for his first ever Oscar. Obviously, this is for the 2026 Oscars. It was an honorary Oscar for, oh gosh, I should have looked this up before. But he hasn't won an Oscar, which is kind of a crazy thing to think of. Like, how is that possible? You know?
Yeah, I guess just a lot of action roles, which, maybe wouldn't pull an Oscar, but I'm surprised, yeah, like hasn't won an Oscar for any being part of a movie, I guess, or, like a
Right.
technical Oscar or anything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's been nominated, obviously, multiple times. Best actor for Born on the 4th of July, Jerry Maguire, Best Supporting for Magnolia, and then Best Picture for his role as producer on Top Gun Maverick. But he's never actually won. And so this was an honorary award at the 2025 Governors Awards, which technically count for the 2026 Oscars.
Gotcha. That's
And
interesting.
and an interesting quote from him that I saw was that he said, "Making films is not what I do; it's who I am." Which I was like, you know what, Tom? I almost forgive you for Scientology. Like you are there for the movie
He's
going
made that
culture.
many, yeah, he's made that many good movies. Yeah, you love I think it was Mission Impossible this summer. You get the 30-second blurb from Tom thanking you for being in the theaters.
Right,
You don't see
exactly.
that from anyone else.
No, I feel like him and like Christopher Nolan are the two people who are the biggest
Yeah,
advocates for the theaters.
totally.
Anyway, so that's kind of it where what we saw for trend. Oh wait, no, last thing. Sorry. Stacy mentioned this thing in our morning call this morning that the Saudi wealth fund would be preparing to potentially purchase Warner Brothers. And I immediately was like, that can't be true. And I looked it up and there's a huge rumor mill going around specifically on like Arab slash Saudi news outlets that this may happen. So I wonder what that
Yeah.
means for Warner Brothers and why. Like what's going on? Because I feel like they had such a good year. Why do they need to be purchased?
Yeah, never count out the Saudi money. I feel like if you follow sports at all, they're just like
Hmm.
they're starting to get in on everything. Especially with how big, online sports betting has become. It's like there's just more and more money in sports every year, and it seems like they want to be part of it. And I guess, a move into a big entertainment media company would make some sense. It would be quite interesting.
Yeah, interesting indeed. Yeah, so let's keep an eye on that because that could change a lot of things, for the coming year and so on and so forth. So interesting stuff. Stacy shouldn't have doubted Stacy, huh? All right, let's move into the next segment, which is just a recap of our prediction polls. I picked the top three here that I wanted to talk about today. The first one is will an Oscar winning actor, oh, it says willing, sorry. Will an Oscar winning actor also win a Grammy in 2026? 70% of you say yes, 30% of you say no. I think there's only like one potential like person who could do this or people who could do this, and it's Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. I can't think of anyone else. Like even I mean, I guess. Oh, you know what? The freaking K-pop Demon Hunters people.
Ooh, yeah, that is a good pick.
Yeah, they could potentially win that. Yeah. Actor. I don't know how. I guess maybe if it counts if your movie won, does that count as like an actor winning an award? I don't know if that's the case.
If we're counting movie, I mean that's definitely gonna pull
Yeah,
awards
that's
in my
definitely
opinion.
gonna happen. Yeah, for
If it's
sure.
actor, I think it's still probably a safe bet with the Wicked leads. And obviously the voters agree.
Yeah, because I don't think K-pop Demon Hunters, any of the actors actually got like nominated for that. Because I'm sorry, have you seen it?
No.
It's like I don't know. It's like besides the singing, to me, it's like AI slop, but whatever. It's obviously incredible and cultural phenomenon and force, but like
Yeah.
it's not an Oscar-winning movie. Like
Yeah.
anyway, okay, next one, will The Running Man exceed 100 million globally by the end of the year? A lot of you think yes, which is kind of crazy. Do we think that's gonna happen? Maybe.
I
Probably not,
I would
right?
put it closer to 50-50, honestly. I think it had a quiet weekend this weekend. What did it do? About 17.
Yeah.
Um,
The opening weekend, mind you.
yeah, opening weekend. It's going to drop at least 50%. It would probably drop at least 50% on a normal weekend, but the fact that it's getting
Yeah.
backed immediately by Wicked, it could like completely disappear from people's radars. Like I think people are going to be seeing Wicked for the next couple weeks, and then right behind that is Utopia too. So um, there's a lot of big releases in the water. Personally, I would lean towards no. I'm surprised that the people are leaning towards yes, but
Hmm.
it is an interesting thought experiment.
Okay, sorry. I was not paying attention to the chat. Hey guys, sorry. Chat, a couple questions in here. Sorry. Yeah, I want to validate what you just said, Josh. I'm hearing you. Yes, I agree. But
Thank
I
you.
also want to talk about to chat. Chat, there's a question about Black Friday. There is a deal coming. It probably is in your inbox, Lauren. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I literally we just sent it out this morning, the early access to it. So you guys should have the ability to get that for Movie Pass. Someone said they watched Frankenstein. It's nice. Great. I love that. Actually, I haven't seen it. Have you?
Frankenstein I thought it was like lovely overall and kind of subversive. Like I was expecting like a classic monster movie. It's almost like it almost felt like a like period British romance movie. There's like
Yeah.
lots of like romantic through lines and strings, but it will definitely be nominated or win for set design or costumes or something. It's a lovely movie.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. I need to watch it. It's no longer in theaters, but I think I'll probably watch it just at home. Sorry. Sorry,
Don't tell
guys.
Stacy.
Maybe like for the Oscar run, it'll like come back to theaters for a little bit and I can watch it in theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Jacob Elordi. There was another, oh shoot, now these questions disappeared. What the hell? Um, there were a couple more other questions. Oh well. Sorry, if you're hearing this, please ask those questions again if I didn't answer them. For whatever reason, the streaming app that we use refreshed and it got rid of the questions. I'm sure it's probably like in the thread online somewhere. So I'll check it out in a bit. See if I can figure that out. The last poll that we want to cover is about Avatar Fire and Ash. The question being, will it hit $1 billion globally by the end of the year? I think that's like most people agree. 78% say yes, 22 say no. I think it's pro extremely likely. I would
Yeah,
agree with these odds.
by the end of the year, I mean, I guess the it's dropping 12.19. So if we're saying by the end of the year, maybe there's some nuance in like, will it hit the billion between 12.19 and 12.31?
Hmm.
Um, which kind of makes the question a little bit more interesting, but I think probably still yes. I don't think anyone, it would be foolish to bet against Avatar and box office numbers ever. So
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a freaking behemoth at the box office in December. Like nothing else is really coming out. Oh, that reminds me what it was. The question, um, which was when is the Josh Safdie movie coming out?
that is Christmas Day, Marty Supreme.
Yes, yes. Which reminds me of another thing. We can talk about it on Thursday actually because we're out of time. But did you see the like Timothy Chalamet like 18-minute Zoom call that he did? Like he posted it on like his Instagram. He did a Zoom call, and I think it's like all marketing for the Marty Supreme movie, but it's like kind of insane. It's like 18 minutes long. He's like with the marketing team for Marty Supreme, and he's just like saying the craziest shit you've ever seen in your life, you've ever heard in your life. You're like, what is going on? And
I
part
would
of you
love
is
to
like,
see
is
that.
this real or is this not real?
In
Yeah,
the
do you have 18 minutes? Because it will take you 18 minutes to watch it.
I do have 18 minutes. I feel like his run of PR, I remember seeing a lot around the Bob Dylan movie.
Yeah.
And you can tell like you can see his devotion to his acting craft like spill into the marketing. Like he's so passionate about these movies he's making that he's marketing them hard. Like he's doing the work on that side to
Yeah.
like put the word out there, like talk about how good these movies are, talk about how much he loves making them. Um, yeah, he's generational.
He's doing like a full, I mean, we should talk about this on Thursday in depth, but he's doing like a full like fashion line. Like he's doing like fashion and merch line for it. Like he's doing I just think he's like, this is a really interesting story. So he wants to like make sure people see it and see it in theaters. So
Yeah, and the Safdies are obviously fascinating directors, so I'm sure it'll
yeah.
be cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. So yeah, you heard it. It's Christmas Day. All right, y'all. Last thing here is our leaderboard update. So since last week, we got some movers, we got some shakers. Hollywood has taken the lead here. Love that you have the name Hollywood,
Yeah, fitting.
followed by Prokop, Plump Pixie, Zaira, and Jupiter Star. Remember that, you can make your moves here today, and it will easily sort of, especially at the beginning, this game just starting, could potentially this weekend with Wicked coming out, could potentially really benefit you. Um, and then also the polls. So head to mogulgame.moviepass.com and you
Yeah,
can
there's some new
join.
names on here, so if you're in the mix, keep making your picks. Keep watching the episodes, and hopefully we can help you out. Maybe you'll be on the top of the leaderboards next week. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think on the polls, we're trying to kind of make them a little bit more quantitative. Things, less sentiment based, a little more like numbers based. Um, and like they're questions that we're fascinated about and that we hope you're fascinated about. And I think um, a group of people that love movies and are interested in those types of questions can like produce pretty cool results. So everyone get in there and vote on the polls too.
Yeah, love it. All right, guys, we'll see you all on Thursday. Take